the initial square. Then I did 1 round of this color, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, and that right there is the whole repeat. So we've got repeat 1, repeat 2, again, 1 color, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and that's the end of the repeat. Well, wait, I already lost my count. Okay, so that's the square. And how I follow my counts is these shell rows. So the first shell round is your initial square. Repeat 1, repeat 2, repeat 3, and repeat 4. So I finished 4 repeats. I'm starting repeat 5. I've actually already gone 3 rounds, or 3 sides already, and wanted to catch the good lighting while I had it to get you started on because I have a feeling, oops, did I take off the wrong, where did that other stitch marker, oh, I know, I like to put a stitch marker on my last corner so that I know, like, oh, I've only got 1 more side to do. Sometimes I'll use a different stitch marker on each corner when I'm working on really large projects. So, okay, I know that I'm on corner 3 without having to really take apart or having to like unfold the blanket and figure out what side I'm on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this one around the post so I know that that's my last corner. And since I'm doing 2 rounds of 1 color, when I'm doing my chaining, my chains have to be a little bit taller to make it through. So here's what the back side of my chains look like, and I'll post a picture of that. There's a little flexibility in them. You don't want them too tight or it'll pull your corner. You don't want them too loose either and have them get snagged in toes. You want them to lay nice and flat. For me, it's about 5 for each round. And I will show you once I get to round 2 of the repeat how I judge how tall to make my chains. Okay, so starting with the corner, because I always start in my corners, it'll be, you have your 11 double crochet. You will start in the 6th double crochet of that shell, and it will be 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. A lot of these stitches and repeats should look very similar to what you've already established in your center square. Then chain 1, skip the next double crochet, back post double crochet around the next 3 stitches, 1, back post double crochet, 2, back post double crochet, 3, chain 1, skipping that last double crochet. You'll now double crochet into the single crochet from the previous round, chain 1. Now you're at your 5 double crochet shell. You're going to skip number 1, back post double crochet around 2, 3, and 4, chain 1, skip number 5, double crochet into the single crochet, 3 back post double crochet, and you'll always skip that 1st and 5th double crochet of the shell, double crochet into the single crochet, and repeat that until you get all the way to your corner. And I won't have stitch counts. There'll be, for every time you're on this round, add another, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you'll add a specific, for round 1, each time you repeat it, add 12 stitches, and that's how you'll know if you're on the right track. Another good idea is just making sure that all of your sides equal the same thing. So you're going to continue this pattern of chain one, skip the first one, back post, double crochet around the next 3, skip the last one, chain one, single crochet or double crochet into the single crochet until you get back to your 11 double crochet corner, and you'll chain one. Oh, there's my hair everywhere. Who else crochets their hair into their work? Skip the first double crochet, back post 3, skip, and you'll join with the slip stitch to your first double crochet. I have finished round 1 of the repeat 5, and I slip stitched, then I just chained 1. At this point, because the blanket's getting bigger, I do add a stitch marker every time. And when I put the blanket away, I add a stitch marker. So here I've already chained 1, 2, 3. And I go up to my typical 5. 3, 4, 5. Now, if you can see, my stitches are down here. The corner's way over here. So I bring it over to where my corner's at. And it doesn't, let me get that, it doesn't quite reach where I want it to. So I'm going to add 2 more stitches. I want it to, the chains to reach the corner without stretching. 1, 2. So here I'm at the corner. It lines up. It's not being pulled too tight. And I can go ahead and start the corner stitch. Make sure that your inactive yarn is behind. And this corner is half double crochet. And this one's going to be a little, because it's such a big jump from here to here, it's the only one with this big of a jump. It might be a little distracting to work with at first. Half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet into the same chain 2 space. Now we're going to half double crochet in each stitch across. That means 1 into the double crochet, into the chain 1 space, into the next 3, half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet. Then again, when I'm constantly counting when I'm doing these, and I notice with this one, I count in 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way across. That way I know if I'm off by the time I get to the corner. So we have a chain, half double crochet into the chain 1, half double crochet into the double crochet, half double crochet into the chain 1. And we're just going to continue that all the way across. Half double crochet, 1, 2, 3. The next 3. 1, 2, 3. So here we've got the chain 1, double chain 1. So 1, 2, 3. At this point, I've timed how long it takes me to do each side, and that way I can plan like, okay, I have 20 minutes while this dish is in the oven. I know that I can get one round pulled out, or I've got 10 minutes until I need to go pick up my kids from school. I can knock out 2 sides. That really helps with my time management when you think like, okay, you know, how do you get all of the crocheting done that you do? And that's just it. That's why I have cute project bags. I take my project with me everywhere I go. If I'm buying a coffee and there's a line, I pull it out. All it takes is 6 minutes to go from one side, from one corner to the other corner. So if I have 5 minutes throughout the day, these little 5-minute increments, then I can get, you know, a round done quicker than I realize. And I get home, and by the time I get home for the day, and I only work very part-time at this point, and I am involved in my daughter's elementary school, and I've been trying to start up a knit fiber meetup group. So by the time I get home from for the day, it's mid-afternoon, and I'll have 1 or 2 rounds already completed, just from little 5-minute increments here and there. All right, so I'm going to stop here. Go ahead, do that all the way until you get back to this corner. Don't forget the chain 1, or into the chain 1 space, into those double crochets. The corner is 1 double crochet. No, the corner is half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. Well, I'll see you at round 3 of repeat 5. Okay, I'm back. I have gone all the way around for round 2. In this repeat sequence, there are 9 rounds total. Round 1 will be 1 color. From here on out, each round will be 2, or each color will last for 2 rounds. So this is Kraken here. I'll use Sprite for the next 2 rounds, then switch to Kraken for 4 and 5, Sprite for 6 and 7, Kraken for 8 and 9. And then when I get back to round 1, it'll be Sprite, 2 Kraken, 2 Sprite, and so on. I finished the half double crochet round, and now since we are doing 2 rounds of the same color, I'm just going to slip stitch to the corner, chain 2, half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet in the corner stitch. Now the first one of these is easy to miss. So make sure, and there's plenty of videos on hidden stitch, how to find the hidden stitch with half double crochet in the back loop. So we'll do, there's the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we go. You can see your little ridges starting to be made. If you don't have those ridges, that means you've missed it. There are plenty of videos out there. This is called half double crochet in the 3rd loop, HDC in the 3rd loop. And we're going to do this all the way across. Until you reach the next corner. I am back here with repeat round, well, I'm on repeat number 5 of my blanket, and this is going to be round 4. A trick I use when the blanket starts to get bigger to save me, what I feel like saves me some time, or maybe just energy, is I kind of work 2 rows at a time. So if you could see, here's my first corner of round 3 that we started back just a few minutes ago. And I've gone all the way down to the first corner, and I've done a couple extra stitches like this. And I usually, depending on how big it is, if it takes me, like one of my blankets was taking an hour per side, so I'd put in a stitch marker then. It takes me about 6 minutes per side right now, so I'm not too stressed. I just pull up a long loop, drop it, go back to this corner, and I'm gonna pretend like this side's already filled in and start working my corner. So I pull up my stitch marker, and I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I did 2 rounds of Sprite, so now I'm going to start 2 rounds of Kraken. I'm going to have 5 chains I can't tell how many. Okay, I just had one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it over here to the corner. It comes right to that edge. So I'm going to do one more so it comes up a little higher. This is a round of beans. So I'm going to do a corner bean, which is in the chain 2 space. So bean. To close the bean, that counts as a stitch. So there's technically 3 chains here. And corner bean, close the bean. So I've got, there we go, bean, chain 2, bean. And now we're going to go across. Here's where it might get a little tricky. Where do you do your first stitch? When it comes to half double crochets, they have this sneaky little thing called a hidden stitch. Technically, your first stitch of the hidden crochet is right here. If you don't count that and you skip your first stitch and go here, it's not going to affect anything in the long run. As long as you have the right amount of beans at the end of the round, that's what counts. So I go, this is technically the first one, so I go my first stitch into here, and it's going to be a bean stitch. Chain 1 to close the bean, skip 1, bean. Chain 1. Well, I'm not chaining 1. I'm chaining to close the bean. That's part of the bean stitch. If you notice that your work is starting to kind of pull in, you can add an extra chain in here. Just remember when you get to that next round of single crochets to not count it. So skip 1, bean into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, chain, skip 1, bean, chain 1. And we're going to do that all the way across. And when I get down here to the corner, I usually just do the corner edge, maybe one more, drop this yarn, do the 2 rounds kind of at the same time. Here we go. Again, this is round, I'm on repeat number 5. After repeat number 5, or at the end of repeat 4, it was measuring about 36 inches. That's using a 5mm hook or an H. Your tension or yarn may vary. I plan to, after this 5th repeat, I'll start the border. Welcome back. I have completed my 4th round around, 1, 2, 3, 4, which was our lovely little bean stitches. These are my favorite little squishies. They just add a texture that I'm obsessed with. And I'm going to go ahead and remove my stitch marker. I have to wait until we have gorgeous lighting, which is hard around here in the Northwest. For rounds 4 and 5, those are our bean rounds, and they are done using the same color, which currently is Kraken. How the pattern is designed is that then the next repeat, if you look down here, here's my beans from repeat 4. They were Sprite. And if you go down to repeat 3, my beans were Kraken. So those also alternate every round. So you get I feel a nice range of, you get your petals are the different colors, your beans are different colors, your kind of bordering pieces between the designs rotate, and you get a nice even flow of your yarn. Okay, I need to make it to my corner, so I slip stitch into the top of the bean, slip stitch into the corner, chain 2, turn my work. This round we are working from the back side, so you need to make sure that I keep my yarn this time around in the front from the passive yarn, excuse me. This one's a little tricky. You can see my corners back here. And so I'm going to be working behind my chains essentially. I kind of just pretend that they're not there. And I'm going to do a corner bean. That's corner, or bean, chain 2, bean, all into that same space. It's sometimes my loops that are still on my hook get a little wonky, so I fixed that. Okay, now we make sure that the passive yarn stays in front this time, because here's my back. You see here's my stitches that show where my join is. They're not too loose, they're not too tight. They lay right there flat on top. Okay. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat this morning. I'm going to go on the other side of your chain or into the space that's between round 4's beans. Bean, and you're just going to keep doing that all the way across. Nothing super fancy about this round. I enjoy this round because I can get going and I can sit and have a conversation with somebody and not think too hard about my stitch counts. I can watch TV because I just feel for that space. I don't even have to think about it. I just feel like, oh, there's the big gap, and it goes. Where's the next big, nope, oh, there's the big gap. And in it goes. Sometimes I get going too fast. And let's see if I can show you what I end up doing. When I go to do my next round, I end up, oops, see if I can, oh, I didn't do it this time. I end up like with one of these stitches, something like that, where I've hooked the loop by accident. It's gone over too soon. Anywho, that is the sequence for this round. We are working on the wrong side of your work, which means if you look at most of your work and compare it, you can find a side that just looks a little cleaner than the other side. This blanket's really easy to tell because of these post stitches. If you look back here, there's no popped out texture. All the popped out texture is here in the front. But for your second round of beans, you work in the back side. It gives you a nice braided effect. My first version of Ellie Roo, I did not have them flipped. Another creator had flipped hers and went, oh my gosh, I'm incorporating that into my design from here on out. So you definitely do not have to work on the wrong side. You can keep working on the right side. All it will do is that your beans will all tilt the same direction. I'm going to go ahead and finish up round 5. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I'm going to finish off round 5, and I'll be back to show you round 6. Thanks so much. Welcome back. I finished going all the way around. I love catching those color changes. I've switched from this like indigo blue, I think, to a green. My daughter is awake and I wanted to catch the sunlight while it was out and get another round recorded for you all. So I'm switching over my stitch marker, going back to Sprite. Remember that we are flipping, let me move this out of the way first. Flipping back to the right side of our work. Gosh, just look at these colors, how fun. Totally doing the rainbow effect that I wanted. Okay, I've got my cracking behind here. I'm kraken's behind. And I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see where that line, oh perfect, lines up in the corner, just right. So we're gonna work in that corner, chain 3 space, going to single crochet 3 times, 1, 2, 3, moving, making sure that you keep the passive yarn behind. I'm going to show you the top of these stitches. It's the same as what we worked down here when we did the single crochets into the beans. You're going to skip the top first.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, you can move it.
Almost get oil.
That's okay. You're going to and single crochet into that first or into the second stitch of your bean, and single crochet into the top of the next bean. Single crochet into the second stitch, top stitch, second stitch.
Hi.
And that is my 3-year-old saying hi to you all. And we're going to continue top stitch, second stitch, top stitch, second stitch, all the way around, keeping this stitch marker in the back, and I will see you once again when I've made it all the way around. Hi there, just a heads up, my kiddos are home from school. My toddler's usually home, but my oldest is home as well. She broke her arm, so if you hear them in the background, I apologize, but I am already behind schedule and would like to keep going with the filming. Hopefully it's not too much of a distraction. We are on round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate 7 and 8 because I can show you both the colors at this pretty close at the same time. So what we'll be doing, I joined to the first single crochet after I went all the way around, slip stitch to the corner stitch, chain 1, 3 single crochet into that same stitch, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to be working in the back loops, and you'll be single crocheting in the back loop only, whoops, all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and do about 15, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So again, you would be doing this all the way across. For sake of demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and pull up a long loop. And when my work gets really long, I usually will work in chunks of about 30 stitches at a time. And if I'm able to do what I'm about to show you, I do that. So I'm working kind of like this, but with 2 different rounds at the same time. So I've got my 15 on here. Go back here. I'm going to pull up my other color. Pull off the stitch marker. And if I can get that off, set that to the side. I'm going to chain 5, 1, there's one already there, 3, 4, 5, whoops. And this one, because of those bean stitches working on the wrong side, it's a little bit further back. So instead of pulling it from like over here, it is over here, just go ahead and bring it back over there. See, it's sitting right on top nicely. The corner stitch here is going to be double, get in there, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, all into the corner. This first stitch for single crochet, you will double crochet. So our corners are going to be over the course of the whole single crochet corner, those 3 stitches. So you have a single crochet in one stitch. The next stitch is double crochet, chain, chain, double crochet, and then a double crochet onto the other side. And now here's where the repeat comes in. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet 2 times. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. Skip 1, double crochet, chain 1. You will continue that all the way across. Once you get to the corner here, I can show you down here. You will have, let me pick a different corner that has the join in it. So down here, you will get to your last double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, and then you'll do the corner. So the double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. So these corners are just kind of, they're still a corner, but they're a little bit spread out. Go ahead and continue that all around, and then I will see you back here again once I've finished this round, and we'll be on the 9th round of our repeat. I finished round 7 right here with the kind of orangey color, and I threw a stitch marker on there to keep it from unraveling. Got all the way around through round 8. I have done my last 2 double crochet, chain 1. Just want to show you what, oops, about to lose that, chain 1. And I'm going to skip that single crochet, double crochet into that last stitch before the corner, and slip stitch to the top of your first double crochet. So just to reinforce that corner, got the back door open. It's a little noisy this morning. It's sunny out, hoping the dogs stay outside instead of clicking around on the hardwood floor. But again, we have double crochet. The corner is double crochet, chain 2, double crochet all into the same stitch, and a double crochet. And then you start your sequence. I'm keeping cracking for 2 rounds again. So let me find my working end. Slip stitch to the corner, chain 2, 11 double crochet into the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, then we've got this space here to do. The pattern is single crochet. You'll only be working in the chain 1 spaces. Single crochet, 5 double crochet, single crochet, 5 double crochet all the way across. So single, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the next space, 5 double crochet in the next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I apologize about my dog. He is 14 years old, very deaf, and he just likes to wander. The only other choice I would have, he would end up barking through the whole thing. So I apologize if the clicking is too much. So you'll continue that around, and once you finish that, you will have a full repeat, and you'll just keep repeating your that same sequence of back post. Oh, here, let me go down to this one. In the Kraken, in color 1, we did the back post and the single crochet or double crochets. Then 2 rounds of the same color, these were the half double crochets. 2 rounds of the same color, which were our bean rounds. 2 rounds of the same color and single crochets. 2 rounds of the same color that formed our petals. And just repeat that until you get the length of your blanket. I have a little bit left of this cake here to finish out. I'll probably have, I probably won't make it around a whole border round with what will be left at the end. And this is how much I have left of Sprite before the border, which will probably make it around. We'll see as we go along. The next time I see you guys, we'll be ready to start the border. So again, repeat this as many times as you want. I have done, this is my repeat number 5, and this is cake 3 and cake 4. I will have attached cakes 5 and 6 for the border.